Hey guys, it's Blaine and welcome to my first ever Netflix review for the year 2021. Just as a heads up before I get started, I've been kind of experimenting with audio and video setups for my camera, my microphone, and all that sort of stuff. I've been filming at different times of the day and sort of just trying to find different ways to get the best quality for my video and my audio. I'm very new to videography in general, so please excuse me and I apologize if the next couple videos are not as great in quality as they should be, at least for a professional sort of reviewer. But anyway, without any further ado, I want to get into my first review of the year 2021 for Netflix, and that review is actually going to be a series called Headspace Intro to Meditation. I remember seeing Headspace many times in the past through ads and through a YouTube video here and there, but I never really subscribed to them or really paid much attention to them, mostly because I'm not really a spiritual person in general, and I never really meditated all that often. But with that said, I was interested in the idea, and of course, since I plan to review as much original content on Netflix as possible, I thought this would be a good way to get started to kind of get the ball rolling. So basically, Intro to Meditation by Headspace is exactly what it is. It's an introduction to meditation. There are 8 episodes in the series, each of which are 20 or so minutes long, and they all cover a different topic. One episode might cover pain, one episode might cover anger, one episode might cover depression. There's a variety of different topics related to mental health that's explored in each episode. Those topics are covered in the first half, and then the last half are explored in the form of meditation. So basically, there are concepts related to meditation that are reviewed in each episode, and they're explored during the meditation exercise, which takes place in the last half of each episode. Every episode in the series is hosted by one person. His name is Andy. He goes into his life story a bit in the actual series itself. He used to be a Buddhist monk in a monastery. That was where he learned a lot of his spiritual and, I guess, meditational teachings, if you will. That was where he learned a lot of what he knows today, and he kind of shares that same knowledge with the world in this series. My impression of this series is that it's not really meant to be watched in one sitting. It's more meant to be kind of explored over a week or so, depending on what your schedule is like, maybe even once a week, depending on how often you want to meditate. It really kind of just depends on how open-minded you are to the concept of meditation itself, because I know not everyone out there is necessarily a spiritual person, or they may not necessarily believe in the effects of meditation. Personally, I participated in 2 of the meditational exercises that take place in this series, and if I had taken part in any more, I probably would have fallen asleep before I finished the rest of the series because I was so relaxed when I did the meditational exercises. I was actually amazed at the effects that it had on my body when I participated in them. I like the reference to different methods of research that go into this series. There's a lot of university studies that are referenced and a lot of scientists and psychologists that are referenced throughout as well. So it's not 100% purely spiritual. There's also a lot of science that goes into it, and they delve into it as much as they can with the limited amount of time that they have. I find what really helps me understand the concept of this series is the animated sequences that they have playing on the series itself. It's hard to imagine mental concepts without having some sort of visual reference for me to look at, and I find that this series does a really good job in visually representing these ideas that come from different psychologists and researchers that would be pretty obtuse if we were to hear those words coming out of their mouths. So that's kind of my review in a nutshell. I would recommend this series to anyone who is interested in exploring their spiritual side, anyone who is looking for an alternative way to deal with any negative emotions they've been experiencing lately. Basically, anyone who's interested in the idea of meditation should definitely take a look, because it's an introduction and it's a very warm and welcoming series. Andy speaks with a very warm tone throughout the series. He's very relaxing to listen to, and he's very reassuring whenever he does the actual exercises. So there's no need to get intimidated at all if that's what you're feeling. If you don't really know if it's for you, just try one episode and see what you'd think of it. On the other hand, if you're a more skeptical person and you're not really all that spiritual or even that interested in exploring the spiritual side, I don't think this series is necessarily for you. Even despite the overwhelming scientific evidence in the series itself that shows that meditation can be a beneficial exercise for your body. And I say exercise because it's just as important to exercise our minds as it is our body. But yeah, overall my impression of Headspace Intro to Meditation is great. It's a great series to get started with, and of course it was a pretty good series for me to get started with my Netflix reviews. So again, I apologize if my next couple of videos are not the best in quality. I am new to this sort of thing and I'm not used to vlogging in front of a camera, but I am aware that I'm not going to get better unless I practice more at it. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, stay tuned for the next part where I review a Netflix documentary, The Minimalist, Less is Now.